everybody. For today's project, we're going to be taking a fun dive into molecular gastronomy. Now for our Jello mixture, we are going to be using the stovetop. However, you can use the microwave, but even then, an adult presence is recommended because we're going to be transferring hot liquids. Hope you guys enjoy today's project. Hi guys, I'm Jasmine. I'm with Monterey County Free Libraries, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make Jello pearls. So we're going to need a couple things today. We're going to need Jello, whatever flavor you would like. And then we're going to need a syringe or pipette. We're going to use a spoon as well, but it might not make perfect pearls. Then we're also going to need 2 containers. One we're going to fill with water, and then the other we're going to fill with vegetable oil. We're going to do an experiment. And then we're going to need a measuring cup, and then a saucepan with a whisk to prepare the gelatin mixture. Now this is using commercial kitchens and other restaurants that do molecular gastronomy. It's usually used with sodium alginate or calcium chloride in order to make spheres, but we're gonna make it a little bit easier, something that we have in our kitchen. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna need to cool down our mixtures because we're gonna be using a little bit warm gelatin. So we're gonna go ahead and put these in the freezer and then just cool them off for about 10 minutes. All right, so then we're gonna follow the instructions of the Jello packet. It calls for 1 cup of boiling water. So we're gonna go ahead and boil that on the stove, and then we're gonna add our Jello packet in, mix it until it's dissolved, and then add 1 cup of cold water. So we're gonna go ahead and wait for that to boil, and then we'll update you. All right, so now my water is boiling. We're gonna go ahead and turn off the heat. We're gonna have our parent turn off the heat, and then we're gonna go ahead and add our Jello packet in. We're gonna whisk this up until it's all mixed in. And we're going to go ahead and add 1 cup of our cold water, making sure that it's all in there. And we're just going to whisk this until all of it is dissolved. I'm using a strawberry gelatin flavor, so it's going to be a little red color. And we're going to go ahead and add this in, give it a good mix up. And then we'll wait for it to cool just a little bit. And then we can transfer it into our measuring cup and then grab the other glasses out of the fridge and start making our little spheres. The gelatin is still cooling down, but I'll go ahead and tell you a little bit about the science. Because we're using Jello, the main ingredient that makes the spherification possible is the gelatin. The gelatin is made up of a protein which is known as collagen, which all of us have as well as many other mammals. It makes up our skin, our bones, and our tendons. And when we heat the gelatin, the strands of the protein unravel. The biological name for this is denaturation. And proteins are 3-dimensional structures that are very clumped together. So when we heat them, they're able to unravel into long strands. The main takeaway from this is that when we heat the proteins, it causes denaturation, which allows the proteins to unravel. So this is cooled down enough, and we'll go ahead and pour it into the measuring cup. Or we'll let it cool down just a little bit more, and then we'll go ahead and start making our spheres. So in order to ensure that we have the right concentration of gelatin and collagen within our mixture, I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that we add just 1 packet of extra gelatin into our actual Jello mixture, just to make sure that we have enough gelatin to form solidified pearls within our cold oil or water for our tests. So we'll go ahead and do that while it's still hot, and then we'll wait for it to cool down a little bit more. All right, now we can go ahead and get started. So our first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and draw some of our mixture up into the syringe or the pipette. And we're gonna try dropping it in both solutions and see which one forms the spheres. So first we're gonna try the water. So that one is not able to form. Let's go ahead and bring the oil over. Grab our mixture. We'll go ahead and drop some in. And if you notice, as soon as it makes contact with the oil, it stays in that form. It doesn't spread out and disperse. And this is because of the collagen bonds. The proteins are able to bind back together and re-ravel, basically, forming their tight strands. And as they sink to the bottom, they're cooling because of the cold oil. And if we grab a spoon, we should be able to scoop these out. So let's go ahead and try that. All right, and then if we have the right concentration of gelatin within our mixture, we should be able to scoop them out just like this. And they make little Jello beads. I'll go ahead and grab a strainer so we can get a better view of them. All right, so then I've scooped out some of the Jello, and then I have a little strainer right here, a little mesh strainer. I'm just gonna drain out some of the oil. And then if you look, we have these little Jello pearls. Now, if you don't get Jello pearls on your first time, you just might have to increase the concentration of your Jello mixture, adding more of these little gelatin packets to make sure that we have the right concentration. Now, going back to the water, the reason that this didn't work is because although we know that the gelatin mixture is still warm, it should be able to form within a cold solution because it's water. The gelatin and the water do mix together, and it is able to disperse within the water, lowering the concentration of the gelatin, making it not able to form solidified balls. Now, since water, the main ingredient in Jello, does not mix with oil, it will reject it basically and form solidified balls within the Jello, encapsulating it. So those little long strands that were the gelatin mixture, because it's hot, are now coming back together and clumping up, forming a solid sphere. You can go ahead and eat these if you rinse them off, but it might be a little oily. If you have any leftover gelatin mixture, you can pour it into a Tupperware and just make normal Jello. I hope you guys try this at home and enjoy.